What is happening, my YT gang? Y'all already know what time it is. We are back with another one. And today, man, y'all got to help me understand this, man. I'm trying to wrap my brain around it and tell me if I'm tripping. Because maybe I'm tripping. Sometimes I do be tripping. So, you know what I'm saying? Feel free to let me know if I'm tripping or not. Now, I watched First Take earlier, and they was having a discussion on something that I was thinking about or that I had talked to the bros about during the draft day. You know what I'm saying? Me and my fellas, you know what I'm saying? We went over there to the stadium. We based in Atlanta. Of course, y'all be seeing me with that Falcons gear on. Y'all already know what time it is when it comes to me and them dirty birds. All right, we ain't even gonna get started on that. But we was over there at the stadium, you know what I'm saying? They was having a draft party. And of course, we was all talking about the whole situation about Shedeur Sanders, how we couldn't believe that he was falling further and further in the draft, you know, and it made me think, you know what I'm saying? First Take really brought it back to my attention, and I felt like I needed to talk about this, man. What in the world was the Pittsburgh Steelers thinking by not picking Shedeur Sanders? Now, I do, you know, we know about the Giants, okay? The Giants fans, they were so upset enough. My homeboy, he a New York Giant fan, boy, and he was devastated that they missed out on my boy Shedeur Sanders. But still, yeah, how could they pass up on him? Now, I know they was having this whole situation with my boy Aaron Rodgers. Okay, we get it. But at the same time, Aaron Rodgers was hesitant on coming to Pittsburgh. So at that very moment, if I was the GM in my head, I would say to myself, okay, the draft is coming up. We don't have a quarterback, a solidified quarterback. We got rid of my boy Russell Wilson. We need to draft a quarterback. If we have a chance, if one of them just so happens to fall in our lap, we got to take advantage of this. Now, I understand if there was absolutely nobody, no good quarterbacks in the draft class when it was your turn to make a pick. I get that. But you had a gem. This man was the second best quarterback option in the draft class. Had him right there, and you just passed up on him. And the crazy thing about it is, what I really don't understand, even with passing up on him, you decided to draft a quarterback that I don't even know of. No disrespect to him. I don't know his first name, last name. I didn't look him up. I'm not going to lie to y'all. So I'm just going to keep it there. But everybody know. He ain't no Shedeur Sanders. So what were they thinking? You know, my boy Mike Tomlin, you know, I thought he was in good relations with my boy Shedeur Sanders. He had a lot of great things to say about him. So why did you pass up on him? Is it because of Aaron Rodgers? Is it because y'all was still going for Aaron Rodgers and knowing that Aaron Rodgers possibly would not like the fact that he was the second best quarterback on the team? Now, I can only imagine if a situation happened to my boy Aaron Rodgers where he's just stinking up the place. Shedeur Sanders is there, and they rooting for my boy Shedeur Sanders. They just pleading, chanting for Shedeur Sanders to come out on the field. Who cares? You get what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers is he's one of the greatest to ever do it, but he's on his way out the door. At this point, you got to think about the future. Okay? Them boys was really out there. I think they had the worst draft picks. Now, maybe I'm tripping. Now, like I said, if I am tripping, y'all let me know, man. Just please let me know. But I do not understand. Them boys were really out there playing checkers in a game of chess. It just don't make sense to me. Now, I want y'all to listen to this clip because I do have the clip of First Take. My boy Stephen A. Smith, RC, they was all in there chatting it up about the whole situation. And I'm posting this clip because I want y'all to see it for yourself. If you didn't get a chance to hear them talk about it yet, man, take a listen to this real quick. And you just let me know how you feel. Drop them down in the comments and tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm right. Let's run that clip.
I think there needs to be an investigation as to why they didn't draft a quarterback. How you don't draft a Shedeur Sanders? How you don't do that, knowing how debilitated you are at the quarterback position, spanning years? I'm not saying you didn't draft a quarterback at all. I know they drafted the quarterback, but I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders. I'm talking about somebody early in the first two rounds.
Here's what I can tell you about the draft. If he would have fallen to the 7th round,
right,
the Steelers weren't drafting Shedeur Sanders.
Why?
Shedeur Sanders was not going to be picked by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whatever the evaluation was, whatever decision was made, he was not going to be the quarterback picked, drafted, called by Mike Tomlin.
Because of talent or because the hoopla they felt like that came with it?
That's breaking news.
That was not going to happen.
Breaking news, and here's why. Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan was seen talking about Shedeur Sanders. They interviewed him, etc. This is when we were speculating whether or not he was going to be a first-round pick. How in God's name do you justify him going to the 5th round? Like, to say even if he went to the 7th round, then what the hell were you talking about him for? What did you waste your time? You interviewing 7th rounders? You're giving them that kind of time, that kind of attention? That's just further evidence something other than football tainted Shedeur Sanders coming into that draft. Because there's no excuse for him to fall that low, and there's no reason why on earth why a franchise like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's been starving to find a quarterback for years, Ryan Clark could come up here and say, even if it was the 7th round, they still wouldn't have picked them. That makes no football sense.
Listen, a lot of things don't make sense to me. But what I'm telling you is, as the 83rd pick was approaching, my mind, my dumb football analyst mind said, there is no way they don't pick him at 83. There is no way that this guy who has a 1st-round grade for many people, at the lowest, a 2nd-round grade based on potential, athleticism, and talent, and what he could do at the quarterback position, doesn't get picked at 83 by a team that's starved to have a quarterback. That you are figuring if you're going to get Aaron Rodgers or you're going to play with somebody else, you at least have a year to develop this kid who seems to have all of the things that make certain pocket quarterbacks great.
But could the Aaron Rodgers factors be a reason why they didn't pick a quarterback? You don't think that looms large over the
only thing
Steelers?
I could say is that they knew they didn't want to do anything in this draft that would deter him from picking them. And I would have to believe having a Shedeur Sanders in the building with the push that is going to be given by fans for him to play, with the push that's going to be given by outside voices that Shedeur Sanders needs to have growth. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wanted to be the 2nd most famous quarterback in a room.
All right, look, I understand everything that RC is saying, okay? But even still, they still drafted a quarterback, man. That's the whole thing about it. You passed up on the 2nd greatest option when it comes to the quarterback position. Why? Why? Especially if you was doing nothing but giving compliments to this young man. Were you scared of the NFL? Were you scared of Aaron Rodgers? Which one is it? I gotta know. Somebody, anybody, please help me understand, man, what's going on down there. Drop them comments down below, man. Let me know how y'all feel about this whole situation. I'm gonna get at y'all on the next one.